chapter number 8, prayers by Queen Quinty. And yesterday we completed till verse number 27. Yeah. So the 27th verse was Namo Akinchana Vittaya Nivritta Gunavrittaye Atmaramaya Shantaya Kaivalyapataya Nama. So this theme is going on that Krishna can be approached by those who feel themselves dependent on him. Those who feel that I am not independent of mercy of the God or mercy of the devotees. So this is the theme, and so this was till verse number 25 actually. Then from 26 onward, we are moving towards Krishna Leela and how it can be understood through love. So this is the third series. That was the third series, 23rd to 25. Then this is the fourth one, 26 to 31. Now then we'll go ahead with the verse number 28. Manne tvam kala ishanam anadi nidhanam vibhum samam charantam sarvatra bhutanam yanmitha kali. Yeah, I would like to read the translation. Aruna Sumukhi Mataji, can you read?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat.
Manye tvam kalameshanam anadinitanam vibhum samam charantam sarvatra bhutanam yanmita kalihi. My Lord, I consider your Lordship to be the eternal time, the supreme controller, without beginning and end, the all-pervasive one. In distributing your mercy, you are equal to everyone. The dissensions between the living beings are due to the social intercourse. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So now here Kunti Maharani is analyzing that what is the cause of, sometimes we say that God is not equal or God is just partial to his devotees. Like here in the Mahabharata war, you may see that Krishna is taking the side of Pandavas, openly. Right there in the Mahabharata. And in the Mahabharata itself, Krishna speaks Bhagavad Gita. And he says that I am equal to everyone. And Kunti Maharani is analyzing the same situation here. And she basically is giving us the path how we can approach the Lord. And why we are not able to approach the Lord. Sometimes we may think that God is not, is not favoring me. He is favoring, someone. And now people outside, they say that, you just pamper the, anyone, and they will take your side, right? So God is not like that. So they may feel that you are chanting Hare Krishna just to, like any other ordinary person, if they have to, get, something done, so they will just glorify. But that glorification and this glorification is totally different. First of all, to become a devotee is not an ordinary thing, right? So now here she's saying that you are equal to everyone. And if suppose you are appearing not equal, that inequality is not because of you. This is because of, what is the word used? Yat mythically, because of the dissensions. dissension means basically a difference of opinion, or there are mutual differences between the, if there are fights in this world, God is not the cause for that, because people, they do not agree to one common point, and therefore they fight. There is no common, interest between them. Just like in a family, there can be only one chief. In a village or in a country, there can be only one chief. And if suppose everyone wants to become prime minister, then there will be conflict, right? You can become if you have qualification, but you don't have qualification, how can you become? And nobody has the qualification except for God. He is the only person who can become the, chief, or he is the only chief person who can guide living entities. So therefore, here in the Mahabharata war, it may seem that Krishna actually took the side of the Pandavas. And before this, we read this term, Nivritta Gunavrittaye, that devotees and Lord, they are beyond the modes. So if Lord is not affected or influenced by the modes, but still, how can he take the side of a one person and not take another side? That means he is, contaminated by modes. Like it may appear like that, but then Kunti Maharani says it is not like that. You favor someone or you neglect someone simply because somebody wants to come to you and somebody doesn't want to come to you, right? Krishna is partial to his devotees, but nobody has prevented non-devotees to become devotees, right? If non-devotees, they also join Krishna's party, Krishna can favor them in that sense, like this. So nobody is, given a chance to become devotee. Now, if see, therefore, as we move ahead in this, prayers, Kunti Maharani will gradually, reveal this secret here, that if you become a devotee, Krishna is definitely going to favor you, because it is openly seen here that Krishna is being, partial to his devotees, and non-devotees, they may say that Krishna is taking the side of devotees. Why is not taking, our side? So who stopped you to become the devotee? You can join Krishna's party, and Krishna will definitely favor you. So this is one aspect. And another aspect is, even though there may be fights in this world, like what, here Kunti Maharani says that the, dissension between the living beings, they are not caused by Lord. They are caused by themselves. They do not agree to, meet one common point, and therefore they fight. Like in the Mahabharata war, Kauravas and Pandavas. Why they were fighting? Pandavas, they wanted Krishna as the supreme, you know, uh, personality of God to be worshipped. And Kauravas, they didn't want. If Kauravas, they also agree to this point, then there is no fight. But they simply can't accept that. And therefore, this is one example. Like that, anyone who is having, fights in this world, maybe two countries, two people, or two families, or whoever, the fight between them is not caused by God. It is because of their own, disagreement. If they come to the common point and agree with each other, then, there will be no fight. And here she is indirectly indicating Krishna in the form of time. I consider your lordship to be eternal time, supreme controller without beginning and end. Through time, Krishna is just facilitating, this such kind of social, dissension, the dissension between the two living entities. Time is just witnessing. Time means actually Krishna only. Through time factor, or through the representation of time, he is giving us facility. You want to fight, fight. You want to, agree with each other and live peacefully, you can live peacefully. Like that. Prabhupada in the purport says that eternal time is the witness of all our actions, good and bad, and thus resultant reactions are destined by him. It is no use saying that we do not know why and for what we are suffering. We may forget the misdeeds for which we may suffer at this present moment, but we must remember the Paramatma who is witnessing everything within our heart. So you can use a title to this purport. Living entity is responsible for his destiny. Living entity is responsible for his destiny. Then Prabhupada in between on 433 page, in the middle of the purport, he writes, the living beings are given as much freedom as they deserve, and misuse of that freedom is the cause of suffering. The devotees of the Lord do not misuse their freedom, and therefore they are the good sons of the Lord. So everyone is a son of the Lord, whether he is a good or bad. But if you become bad, then you may blame the Lord. Right? And then Krishna says, Prabhupada says, others who misuse freedom are put into miseries destined by the eternal Kala. The Kala offers the conditions of both happiness and miseries. And then Prabhupada further says, so we may have happiness also without being asked, for they are all predestined by Kala, just like we have miseries. No one is therefore either an enemy or friend of the Lord. Everyone is suffering and enjoying the results of his own destiny. Everyone creates his own destiny under the supervision of the Supreme Lord. Like that. So unless we understand this, we will always be, having ill feeling towards the laws of karma or towards the, rule of the Supreme Lord, which is actually, whether you accept or not, the Lord is directly indirectly ruling all of us, isn't it? Whether we accept or not, better we accept it, understand it, and then we can move towards him. And if we do not understand, then there will be a big gap between Krishna and us. So we have to understand through scriptures and through guidance of the devotees how Lord is my Srihit all the time, as it says in the Gita, Srihidam Sarva Bhutanam, that I am the well-wisher of every living entity. So if he is a well-wisher of devotee, he is also a well-wisher of non-devotee. But he will reciprocate to non-devotee to the degree he surrenders, to the degree he accepts. Like that. And then in the 29th verse, then she takes this theme further ahead, how we will gradually develop the love for the Lord. Now she's she will explain, mention about his pastimes, and then she will try to give us understanding why Lord appears in this world. What is the reason? Naveda kaschit bhagavan's chikirshitam taveha manasya nrunam vidambanam nayasya kaschit dayitosti karhichit devyascha yasmin vishamamartir nunam. Yeah, Vimala Mataji, can you read? Or you read? Or you don't have the book? Or you don't have, okay. Yeah, Rakshadavi Mataji, you can read.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam.
O Lord, no one can understand your transcendental pastimes, which appear to be human and so are misleading. You have no specific object of favor, nor do you have any object of envy. People only imagine that you are partial. Hare Krishna.
Yes. Now she is actually entering into a beautiful theme, which is very, dear to the devotees who want to love Krishna. So before, in the previous verse, she said that Lord is equal to everyone. right? And further in this verse, it is further elaborated. You can give title to this purport: Lord is equal to all. Lord is equal to all. And Prabhupada is giving beautiful examples to make it clear how he is equal to everyone. In the purport, Prabhupada gives the example of sun. If you go to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th line, 7th line, Prabhupada is saying that by utilizing the sun rays, sometimes even the stones become valuable. Whereas a blind man cannot see the sun, although there are enough sun rays before him. Like that, when Krishna appeared, he was present present before everyone, right? Both Kauravas and Pandavas, even non-devotees, devotees, everyone was in the vicinity of Krishna. But not many could understand he is supreme. Why? Because they didn't take shelter of devotees. Like Pandavas, they were under the guidance of devotees like Vidura, Vyasdev, so many other, Dhaumya. So they could understand the transcendence of Krishna. And therefore here see this beautiful example. Prabhupada says that the darkness and light are two opposite conceptions, but this does not mean that the sun is partial in distributing its rays. The sun rays are open to everyone, but the capacities of the receptacle differ, right? If you close your doors, even though there may be sun rays cannot enter your home, right? Then whom to blame? Sun or yourself? If you close your eyes in front of Krishna and you say that there is no God, then whom to blame? God is present in front of you. So of course you may say that people, they go to the temple and see the God with open eyes, but actually we can't see God with these eyes. We need the eyes of devotion. We need the eyes of scriptures, Shastra Chakshu. So because they try to see with the Charma Chakshu, they cannot understand, and more than that, they cannot understand his pastimes. Why he appears like that and why he acts like that. Therefore, Kunti Maharani here, she's saying that your transcendental pastimes which appear to be human are so misleading. And therefore, you see in the today's entertainment industry that Krishna cartoon comes, Krishna serials. So many, Krishna serials and Krishna, movies, they have come up. But how many have started chanting Hare Krishna by, watching those movies and Krishna cartoons and serials? Why? Why this happens? Because, who would like to tell?
No purity of intent, perhaps.
Okay, no purity of intent. Yeah, definitely.
Because they themselves are not chanting, they cannot make others chant.
Yes.
Prabhuji, no realization.
No realization.
They watch only for the purpose of entertainment.
And therefore, they remain at the level of entertainment. They watch cartoon, Krishna cartoon, they remain cartoon. They can't go beyond that. So therefore, if you do not understand, divinity of the God, see, this word has a lot of weightage, divinity. And if you just see him as a historical person, even though you may accept him sometimes as a God, people say Krishna is God and he is performing, these various pastimes. But do you understand what is the meaning of God? What do you understand by the term God? So you need the guidance of scriptures. Otherwise, they will remain a mystery for all of us. And therefore, see this beautiful example of sun. The sun is everywhere. Sun is giving sun rays to every one of us. But if we close our eyes, close our home doors and windows, then How can we benefit from the sun? One more example Prabhupada gives. Where he gives. That's it. That's the example. Yeah, further ahead. Just after that, this blind man. Foolish people think that devotional service is a flattering the Lord to get special mercy. Actually, the pure devotees who are engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord are not a mercantile community. A mercantile house renders services to someone in exchange for values. A pure devotee does not render service unto the Lord for such exchange. Therefore, the full mercy of the Lord is open for him. And these people, the suffering man, needy man, Artho, Artharthi, Jigyasu, Gyani, these 7th chapter Bhagavad Gita, they make temporary connection with the Lord to serve a particular purpose. When the purpose is served, there is no more relationship with the Lord. A suffering man, if he is pious at all, prays to the Lord for his recovery. But as soon as the recovery is over, in most cases, the suffering man no longer cares to keep any connection with the Lord. The mercy of the Lord is open for him, but he is reluctant to receive it. Are you getting me? You may see these people, they have received the mercy of the Lord, but they have not actually received the mercy of the Lord. Mercy of the Lord is not any material asset that I wanted some money, that I wanted to get rid of some problem, that I wanted to get rid of some disease, that I wanted to get rid of, some, even at the level of Jnana. But still, Jnanis are more closer, moving closer towards understanding Krishna. And if, even if Jnanis, they just want to experience what is Brahman, Krishna can facilitate that, and they will remain at the level of Brahman only. They will not move beyond that. So all these people, they are not actually the recipient of mercy of the Lord. So therefore, Prabhupada further says, that is the difference between the pure devotees and mixed devotees. The actual mercy of the Lord is received when we receive Lord. And nothing else. Therefore, in one Bhagavad Kathakar, one Bhagavad Kathakar in Hindi Bhagavad Katha, he was saying that कभी कभी भूल से भगवान को भी मांग लो भगवान से. So many times we ask so many things, worldly things, but we actually forget. See, who is more wealthy, the possessor of wealth or the wealth? That's what Bali Maharaj says in the 8th canto. After Vaman Dev, he occupies everything with his 2 steps. Then he says, where do I now put my 3rd step? Bali Maharaj says, actually I am the owner of everything, right? So you may have taken my wealth, but the proprietor of the wealth is still here. Now put your 3rd step on my head. So we have to be actually intelligent and choose wisely what to ask from the Lord and become the real recipient of his mercy. That's why Lord is actually equal to everyone. He doesn't envy anyone. He doesn't take anyone's side. He is open to everyone, provided we ask the proper thing, right? Like that. Okay, now after that, in the verse number 30, now she will give the mystery of his, appearance in this world. Janma karamam cha vishwatman ajasya akratur atmana tiriyagnishu yadasu tat atyanta vidambanam. Yeah, who would like to read? Surya Daksha Prabhuji, you would like to read? Surya Daksha Prabhuji.
Yeah. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. You are all right?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam.
Yeah.
Dandat Pranam Prabhuji, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Yes.
Of course, it is bewildering, O soul of the universe, that though you are inactive and that you take birth, though you are the vital force and the unborn, you yourself descend amongst the animals, men, sages, and aquatics. Verily, this is bewildering.
Yes. One who is unborn, how he is born? This is what the paradox people cannot understand. And therefore they say it's all, going bouncer. forehead. Why? Because it has to be understood through sadhana. It's not that because we are just reading, of course, we are reading through Prabhupada, a purified, not purified, he's pure, already a pure soul, in the purest of pure. We are reading through him, we are able to understand. And if we add the element of sadhana, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, then whatever we are reading, Krishna will reconfirm this within our heart. That's called realization. Now we are actually borrowing realization of Prabhupada, right? When we are hearing from Prabhupada, we are actually borrowing. But that, whatever we are taking on credit will become our own when we follow what Prabhupada has given us, the sadhana process, the seva. When we do sadhana and seva, then whatever we are reading will become internalized within our heart and will become realization one day, right? So therefore, the unborn who is taking birth is bewildering. To whom? To the non-devotees. And where all is appearing? Among aquatics, Matsya Avatar, among animals like Varahadev, among human beings like Lord Ramchandra or Lord Krishna, and so forth. So he appears in this world, descends among so many of us. And what is the purpose? That purpose will be given later. But here, Kunti Maharani is just saying that this is so bewildering. Why? Because the one who is not taking unborn, how can he take the birth? Prabhupada in the purport writes, you can give title to this purport. Lord can only be known by bhakti. Lord can only be known by bhakti. Yeah, Prabhupada writes in the purport, third, fourth line, the Lord is all prevailing super soul of all existence, and yet he appears in the form of a boar amongst the animals, in the form of human being as Ramakrishna, etc., in the form of Rishi like Naranarayan, and in the form of aquatic like fish. Yet it is said that he is unborn. He has nothing to do. Why? Because he is complete in himself. He doesn't need anyone's support. He doesn't need anyone for his, just like for us, if we want to be happy, we need some external, things, right? Not to say like that, but even as a soul, we are dependent on Krishna for our, existence. But Krishna is not like that. He is independent in every aspect. He is complete in himself. And then why he descends? To share his completeness with the living entities who are feeling incomplete because of being disconnected from the complete. It is like that verse of Sri Ishopnishad, idam purnamudam, that initial invocation. So when the fish is out of the water, fish will not, fish cannot survive, right? Artificially, we are living away from Krishna, isn't it? It's an artificial life, and therefore we don't find full satisfaction, even though we are trying hard. So much, development, so much of technology, so much of this and that and that. So many things we are developing for eating, for in all, if you analyze your body from toe to head, right from your chappals to your hairs, what all things we are using, how many things we are changing every month, every season, how many new inventions are coming, for what purpose? Just to make us satisfied. But despite all this, there is no satisfaction, right? So to share his completeness, he appears with us. And of course, if you add some rasic point to this, rasic angle to this, even Krishna, he likes to reciprocate. He enjoys when he reciprocates his love with the living entities. That doesn't mean he's dependent on that, but that's one added feature of his pastimes. So therefore, to relish the love of Radharani, he comes as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Even that is not available to God. What is available with the devotee? So who is greater? Devotee is great. People want to become God. Prabhupada used to say, why don't you become devotee? You will enjoy more than God. You know, God himself is not able to enjoy. He is asking, Radharani, what is that? That you always enjoy seeing me, serving me. What is that? So she said, you have to, become like me. You have to come to my position. That means you have to become servant of devotees. So of course, this is a very high level and PhD level topic. In the beginning, we may not understand this actually really what is that. At this point of time, we may just understand that we need, Lord's grace for, our survival and our satisfaction at all levels, gross level, subtle level. So Prabhupada here in the purport, he says like that. If you go a little ahead, Prabhupada says that all these statements prove without any question that the Lord's activities, forms and deeds are all inconceivable to our limited thinking power. And because he is inconceivably powerful, everything is possible in him. Therefore, no one can calculate him exactly. This is the reason. Every action of the Lord is bewildering to the common man. He cannot be understood. And therefore, then now after saying all this, Prabhupada gives the solution also. It's not that Prabhupada is saying that he's so inconceivable, you cannot understand him. Then how can you understand him? Prabhupada says he cannot be understood by the Vedic knowledge, but he can be easily understood by the pure devotees. Why? Because pure devotees, they are intimately related with him. The devotees therefore know that although he appears among the animals, he is not an animal, nor a man, nor a rishi, nor a fish. He is eternally supreme Lord in all circumstances. Like that. So only by pure devotion. Bhaktyamam vijnanati yavan ichcha shuddhapata. Bhagavad Gita as says. Without bhakti, we cannot understand Lord. There is no other technology, or there is no other school, or there is no other university to understand the Lord. We may think in this world that, and actually this happens. We have devotees who have been doing very well in their academics before coming to Krishna consciousness. They do very, they are very intellectually very sharp, or they are very expert in analyzing things. But when they come to Krishna consciousness, they cannot understand what is this. I'm chanting my 16 rounds, I'm doing my seva, but still there is no progress. Why? Baba, it is not like your academics that you study something, you go to the exam hall, you write, and then you pass and you get the medal. This is something different in your city. Here things doesn't work mechanically. Here you need the element of devotion. So even if you are chanting Hare Krishna, if there is no element of devotion, of course, this is the beginning stage. We begin with chanting. As far as possible attentive we can chant. But then eventually you need to learn that I have to add the element of seva, an element of prayer. Consciousness you have to develop. A consciousness, that is favorable to serving Krishna. Sometimes otherwise chanting can also become like, something like you have some, job in the material world. You go to job 5 to 9, 9 to 5. You finish that and then you come. So you may think, okay, 2 hours is a job for Hare Krishna. Let's start chanting. So if you take in that way that my spiritual master, he gave me, this burden of chanting Hare Krishna. I promised him. Why did I promise him? Now I have to chant. Okay, let me chant Hare Krishna. 2 hours. Now in the beginning only we see watch. 10 minutes passed. Okay. Now 30 minutes passed. 1 more hour. Finally it will finish. 2 hours. Finally I am liberated now. So if we have this kind of attitude, then we cannot pass. We cannot get, even passing marks. So of course, I'm not saying that at least we should have, the attitude of, doing our duty, that yes, my spiritual master gave me the order and I have promised him. But this is the beginning level, but then gradually we have to, increase our standard. Otherwise, if we remain like, kindergarten, student, nursery kids, then even after 30, 40, 50, 60 years, spending in ISKCON, we may not realize Krishna. We may not understand Krishna. Because this is a different science. And then she now will narrate the pastimes of Krishna. So in the verse number, so for the whatever she is saying in the verse number 30, she will give example for that in the verse number 31. Gopya dade tvai krutagasi damatavat. Wow, this is a very tongue twister. Yate dashashu kalilanjana sambramaksham vaktam nani vaktam niniya bhayabhavanaya stitasya samam vimohyati bhirapi yad viveti. Yeah, would like to read?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah, okay, yeah, yes, Mataji, you can read.
Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji.
Pranam.
My dear Krishna, Yashoda took up a rope to bind you when you committed an offense, and your perturbed eyes overflooded with tears, which washed the mascara from your eyes. And you were afraid, though fear personified is afraid of you. This sight is bewildering to me. Hare Krishna.
Okay, so in the previous verse, she said that your appearance in this world is, bewildering. So what's exactly is bewildering? This is bewildering. That fear personified is fearful of you, but still you are fearful of your mother. And of course, you are all now, already a graduate from Bhakti Shastri, so you can understand. You are in the post graduation, so you can understand that it's only because of the love of Yashoda Mai that Krishna is submitting to Yashoda, right? It's not out of fear, but out of love. And he's also enjoying that. And our acharyas, they say that when Krishna is crying, he's not doing any natak, not drama. Just like in the, any theatrical act or any drama performance, actor may act, right? And to produce the tears, they use some chemicals also. But Krishna is not like that. He's actually fearful through the potency of Yoga Maya. He's relishing this pastime, he's enjoying this pastime. And this is bewildering to me, Kunti Maharani saying. So actually when Gaur Krishna Maharaj in his Katha, he says that when Damodar Leela happened, Kunti Maharani was also there. She was witnessing that Leela. So therefore she is, mentioning this famous pastime here. This sight is bewildering to me. And Prabhupada in the purport writes that here is another explanation of the bewilderment created by the pastime of the Supreme Lord. Right? And of course, in the entire purport, Prabhupada is giving, a detailed analysis of the Damodar Leela and plus few other pastimes of Lord Krishna. What all he, did. Playful pastimes in Vrindavan, Vrajabhumi. And one point he writes here somewhere in the last section of the purport. Kunti was conscious of the exalted position of Krishna, whereas Yashoda was not. Now, if you are conscious of the position of God, that he is God, and somebody is not conscious that he is God, then who is more exalted? Tell me.
Doesn't know.
Yeah, but this is from Rasik point of view. This is from point of view of Rasa. So Prabhupada writes, just after that, therefore Yashoda's position was more exalted than Kunti's. Mother Yashoda got the Lord as her child, and the Lord made her forget altogether that the child was the Lord himself. This is even more bewildering to non-devotees. That God, in the Vaikuntha planets, there is a Aishwarya Bhava. So they all consider Narayan to be, you are the supreme. You are the supreme personality of Godhead, Lord Narayan. We all worship you. And Lord Vishnu also there. Yes, I am the Lord. Please continue worshipping me. And exact reverse is in the Vrindavan. Everybody chastising Krishna. Nobody believes that Krishna is God. Even if he performs, Herculean pastimes or miraculous, like killing of Putana or killing of Aghasur, so many demons. telling up Pranavat. But no, he can't be God. He is my little baby. Right? What is that? When the devotee does not know the supremacy of Krishna, they are able to give more. Yes. There is a element of, more intimacy. Just like Prime Minister in the office, Prime Minister in the home. Prabhupada used to give this example. Prime Minister in the office is very majestic and very official. Even if his family members they visit Prime Minister office, he will treat them like he treats any other. If he is the actual Prime Minister, not like And when you visit his home, that same Prime Minister may be playing with his grandson, like any other kids. So this is the difference between Krishna in his Vaikuntha form and in his Vrindavan form. There is a Madhurya, and therefore, because of that Madhurya, because of the intimacy, Krishna actually hits his divinity just to reciprocate with devotees. Because if they know that he is God, then they will all become very official to him. And Krishna doesn't want that. He wants them, come and enjoy with me. Let us go and steal the butter from the gopis' house. In one of the pastime on Janmashtami, just before Janmashtami, 2-3 days, our what is the name of that devotee? I forgot. Shubh Vilas Prabhu. You may have heard him. He was narrating one beautiful pastime of Krishna. One day Krishna, right in the beginning, at 6 a.m. in the morning, he goes to one of the gopis' house, and he says that I have come from Yashoda Mai's order. I want some makhan because there are some guests in our home, and we do not have sufficient makhan. So please, can you give us some makhan? So Yashoda Mai is very well, she is the queen of the Vrindavan, right? So she says, yeah, why not? Please take. And so much makhan she gives, full of different pots. And Krishna, when he collects that, just to reassure her, he says that I'll return the pot. I'll come back and return the pot. Okay, I'm going. Thank you. And as soon as she closes the door, then he calls all his friends over, just hiding here and there. All of them come there. And then Krishna says, let us now enjoy this makhan. Then one of the Gopas says that, why here? At the doorstep of the same house? If that lady comes comes out, and if she comes to know that we are just eating same makhan here, she will really punish us. Then Krishna says, we should eat here only. Why? Because there is more fun when there is more risk. More the risk, more is the enjoyment. More is the thrill. And then all of them start eating that makhan mishri, and then that sound of crushing of the sugar balls that goes in the ears of that gopi, and then the gopi comes out. What is this? You said that you want makhan for your guest. Some devotees, some babas, they have come in your home, and you are feeding these stupid boys. And Krishna becomes angry. He says that these boys are not stupid. You don't know, they are big sadhus and babas from their past life. Actually, all the residents of Vrindavan, of course there are two, one are the Nitya Siddhas and some are Sadhana Siddhas. So he's talking about the Sadhana Siddha devotees of the Vrajabhumi, that they have performed so much devotional service in their past life that they have not got this opportunity to enjoy with me here in the Vrindavan. So like that, there are many beautiful pastimes of Krishna. We will be bewildering to those who do not understand, first of all, his divinity, and then Krishna is beyond that divinity also, right? So level 1 is to understand his divinity, and more than that is to understand Krishna beyond that divinity also. It goes to the postgraduate level, which of course is very difficult for newcomers and the non-devotees to appreciate like that. And then as she goes ahead, she tells further that Now she will give different reasons why Krishna appears. Now it is a bewildering to see Krishna, who is unborn, to be, taking birth. But now then, for what reason he appears? So in the series of verses, she will analyze this till 40th verse. Kechidahu rajam jatam punyashlokasya kirtaye yado priyasyanvaye malay seva chandanam. Yeah. Gandhi Prabhu, can you read?
Yes, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, Dandavad
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna. Dandavad.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Some say that the unborn is born for the glorification of pious kings, and others say that he is born to please King Yadu, one of your dearest devotees. You appear in his family as sandalwood appears in the Malaya hills. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Okay, thank you. So, first of all, he's saying that here, she's saying that Punya Shlokasya Kirtaye, to born for the glorification of pious kings. Who are the pious kings? Like Yudhishthira Maharaj, or the Yadu dynasty, or the, Ugrasen Maharaj, and so forth. All those, because Krishna wants these pious kings to rule over the earth. And Prabhupada will, analyze that in the purport, while connecting this with the Paritranaya Sadhunam Vinaya Chaturshritam Dharma Sansthapanarthaya Sambhavami Yuge Yuge. For that purpose he appears. Right? And another line she's mentioning here, that Malaseva Chandanam. So because he appears in the Yadu dynasty, they called him as the Yadu, right? But he's not exactly like one of the Yadu. He's not, just like Prabhupada mentioned that a sandalwood actually can grow anywhere, right? But it majorly found in the Malaya hills. So therefore we say Malaya Chandan. But otherwise it's a Chandan only. No need to say Malaya Chandan. It's a Chandan. But because the Chandan is growing in the Malaya hills, therefore Malaya Chandan. Similarly, Krishna, he appears in the Yadu dynasty, therefore he is, but that doesn't mean that he is one of the Yadu. Just like Prabhupada in the purport, in the last 3-4 lines, give another example of sun. Prabhupada said that like the sun, he appears as the sun rises on the eastern horizon. As the sun is never the sun of the eastern horizon. So the Lord is no one's son, but he is the father of everything that be. Just because sun is appearing on the eastern side, that doesn't mean that sun belongs to eastern side. No, sun belongs to everyone, all directions, all sides, right? So like that, Krishna is not just the among one Yadus or so and so dynasty, but he belongs to everyone. So now from here she will start the reasons why he is appearing. So one reason she gave here is the glorification of the pious kings. But then at the same time she is clarifying that doesn't mean that he belongs to that particular dynasty only. Apareva sudevasya devakyam yachitobyagat ajastamasya shemaya vadhaya cha suradisham. Yeah. Vimala Mataji, can you read? Oh, you don't have the book. Okay, all right, no problem. Venkatesh Avatar Prabhu, can you read?
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Dandavad
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna. Yes.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Okay.
Others say that since both Vasudev and Devaki prayed for you, you have taken your birth as their son. So undoubtedly you are the unborn. Yet you take your birth for their welfare and to kill those who are envious of the demigods. Hare
Okay, this verse is exactly like Paritranaya Sadhuna. To do Paritran of Vasudev and Devaki, who are sadhus, and to Vinashaya, to destroy king like Kamsa. Prabhupada says that in the purport. We'll go to the next verse then. Bharavatara. So this is another reason. 33rd verse. Then 34th verse she will give another reason. Bharavatara yanne anne bhuvo nava iva udadho sidantya bhuri bharena jato hi atma bhuva thita. Yeah, would like to read? Vrindavanila Mataji, please read.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Dandavad Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
भारावतारणायाने भुवो नाव इवो दधो सीदन्ति भूरिभारेण जातो हि आत्मभुवार्थितः. Others say that the world, being overburdened like a boat at sea, is much aggrieved, and that Brahma, who is your son, prayed for you, and so you have appeared to diminish the trouble. Hare Krishna.
Yes, thank you. So this previous verse is even further elaborated with specific reason that when you have excessive luggage in the boat, you need to throw it, right? Otherwise, the boat will sink down. So similarly, when this earth is overburdened by the demons, then devotees cannot live peacefully. Or the not just devotees, but this is not exactly Krishna is coming for devotees. This is there is another reason, for there is another aspect to that when Krishna appears for the devotees. So when this dharma sanstapana is mentioned, that dharma is not exactly pure devotional service. This is general law and order in this world. When Krishna says that in the Gita, dharma sansthapanartha, this is not exactly pure devotional service. This is law and order. Now for that purpose he comes, because Brahma, he goes to Shirodaksha Vishnu on the Shvetadip and he prays that there is some administrative problem and we can't solve that. So you have to come and do apply president rule there. Just like if the prime minister is not able to handle, or the chief minister is not able to handle, then there is a president rule. So then Krishna, he has to descend, and Prabhupada mentions in the purport that I was mentioning that when there are good people and bad people, both kind of people are there on earth, right? If the number of bad people they increase, then the earth cannot supply properly the necessities to even good people. There is obstruction, right? If there in the society there are bad people and good people, bad people increase in huge quantity, then government has the problem to properly serve the good people, right? And therefore government has to eliminate or rectify those who are bad. So similarly, Krishna is coming for that reason, to diminish the this trouble of burden of these demons from the earth. In the purport, of course, first paragraph, you can give the title to the purport. Without spirit, matter cannot act. Without spirit, matter cannot act. And there Prabhupada is mentioning that how Brahma was born. He was born without a mother. Of course, mother is Lakshmi Devi, but Lord Vishnu, he did not contact Mother Lakshmi, to procreate Lord Brahma. So that's why Brahma is called as Swayambhu, right? So that's the point first Prabhupada mentions. And then if you go to the page number 442, this first line, Brahma is known as Atmabhu because he was begotten directly from the, I actually gave the reverse meaning. What I mentioned that is there in the second part of the purport. That is, you can give the title Omnipotency of the Lord. Omnipotency of the Lord. From that line, Brahma is known as Atmabhu. There Prabhupada mentions that without the contact of Lakshmi, Brahma was born. Therefore, this is the omnipotency of the Lord. And the first part, without spirit, matter cannot act, there actually Prabhupada is mentioning that until and unless spirit contacts the matter, matter cannot move. So in the process of creation, when Garbhodakshaya Vishnu enters the Brahmanda, then only things start getting activated. Then Brahmaji is taking birth on the lotus, and then further creation happens. Okay, so we move further to the verse number 35, and then so this is one reason that to remove the burden of the demonic, he appears. And then 35th verse, she says, Bhavesmin klishyamananam avidya kama karmabhi Shavana Smarana Harnani Karishanti Kechana. Yeah, Aruna Subhaki Mataji, please read. Verse number 35, translation.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandot.
Yeah, Dandavat.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. And yet others say that you appear to rejuvenate the devotional service of hearing, remembering, worshipping, and so on, in order that the conditioned soul suffering from material pangs might take advantage and gain liberation. Hare
Now
Krishna.
she is coming. Yeah, thank you. Now she is coming to the Krishna's appearance for the devotees. Now before this is all general, that he comes to remove the demonic and establish the rule of the divine. Of course, that rule of the divine is divine. Rule to the divine people is given so that gradually they become devotees of the Lord, right? But more than that, why exactly Lord appears is mentioned in this coming 2-3 verses. Like this verse, she's saying that actually you want to rejuvenate the devotional service of hearing, remembering, and like that you want to attract the conditioned souls towards your lotus feet. So now what exactly happens here? Now two things are given. This word avidya kama karmabhi, bhavesmin means material creation. Klishya marana means those who are suffering. Now we are all suffering in this world because of what? Avidya. Because we do not know what will give us pleasure. We think that worldly things and worldly desires, they will make us happy, right? So therefore we invest in them. That is avidya. And to destroy that avidya, Krishna comes and he performs his pastimes. He speaks Bhagavad Gita, he gives Srimad Bhagavatam, so that we understand that actually we cannot become happy by worldly things. We can only become happy by Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So therefore, here in this verse, you can write if you like. This is actually Prabhupada calls as minimum words, maximum wisdom. Bhavesmin Krishna Maranam Avidya Kama Karmavi. So this is this, and you have studied that in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu also, this chain. What happens is ignorance leads to desires, or you can say ignorance leads to material desires, and those material desires, they lead to work that causes bondage, that is vikarma, and then that vikarma eventually results in suffering. So Krishna comes to remove avidya. I will repeat: ignorance leads to desire, ignorance leads to material desire, material desires, they lead to vikarma, that is work that causes bondage, and that leads to suffering eventually. So Krishna comes to remove that avidya. And actually in this world, everyone glorifies or glamorizes what? Material desires. Possess more, enjoy more, right? So everyone is completely in the science of darkness. And to remove that, what does Krishna do? He comes and he performs his pastimes. And now we may say, see what happens is Krishna came 5,000 years ago and he delivered the pious, and of course he delivered both pious and impious. He delivered the impious by killing them, and he delivered the pious by elevating their consciousness. Of course, one and the same thing. Krishna's actions are equally pleasing to both parties if they take it in proper attitude. But you may say that Krishna came 5,000 years ago. I was not there at that time. You may be there. You didn't take the benefit, so therefore you are still here. So now you may say, where is Krishna now? How he is helping me? Krishna came 5,000 years ago, but now who will help me? And you are saying Krishna comes to do paritrana and sadhunam. Now I have become a devotee. How he is helping me? How he is delivering me? So how he is helping us? He is helping us by giving his through Srimad Bhagavatam. Not Srimad Bhagavatam is of course Lord's pastime. When Krishna came, he performed many pastimes. He left behind Bhagavad Gita. So through that we are getting delivered right now. So Krishna is present right now also in the form of Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavat, of course holy name. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna again came in the Kali Yuga. He thought that I don't think that people have understood Bhagavad Gita properly. So let me again explain it. But I'll explain it in the form of devotee, because nobody will accept me as a Supreme Lord. In the Kali Yuga, if Lord appears, Even if the Lord appears, they will not believe that he is Lord. Actually, therefore, Krishna doesn't appear, in his original form. He comes as a disguise, as a devotee. And just like, suppose in the, if there is an underworld area in your, section of city, one part, and by chance or by mistake or by your free will, if you go there, and if you get robbed, and if you complain to police, I got robbed there. So police will file case on you, not on the, those people. They will say, why did you go there? Even we don't go there. Right? Because so like that in the Kali Yuga, nobody will accept Krishna as Supreme Lord. He knows. Therefore he says, I will not go as a God. They will not accept me only. I will go as a devotee. They will accept me. Like that. So therefore, now here, if we understand Krishna's divinity, then our ignorance is removed. Means Siddhanta. And if we understand or relish or we are attracted to Krishna's pastime, then our kama or lust will be removed. Are you getting me? These are two things. First of all, we need to remove our ignorance. But still, see, that's why those Gyanis or those Brahmavaris, even after removing their ignorance, they fall. Why? It's not that they have kama, gross kama, but because the living entity is pleasure seeking, if he doesn't find pleasure, even on the platform of Brahman, he has to come down to seek the pleasure. Because by nature, living entity is pleasure seeking. Anandamaya bhasat. Are you still there with me? We still have some 20-15 minutes. Is that okay? So tired.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay,
Hare Krishna.
Yes, thank you. Okay, so two things, Siddhanta and Rasa. So we have to understand Krishna through Siddhanta, but that is not sufficient, just understanding Krishna philosophically. We need Rasa. Without Rasa, we cannot last long. Therefore, actually, we may understand, philosophy of Krishna consciousness. Of course, I may not go into this, it's little debated topic, but I will divide it into two parts. Rasa Tattva and Siddhanta Tattva. Siddhanta Tattva is one part we need to understand in Krishna consciousness. At the same time, we need to understand the Rasa part also. Because without Rasa, we cannot go on for long. However big philosopher you may be, but still you need some Rasa to continue on, right? Because by nature, you are seeker of Rasa. Like that. Yeah, and one more essential point here, not to confuse with that earlier what I said, that Krishna comes to establish dharma, and that dharma is just regular law and order in this world. So if you see actually Krishna's pastimes and Krishna's message in the Bhagavad Gita, if you go to the 4th chapter 4.7, 8, 9, these are the three verses. 7 and 8, he gives his general reason for his appearance. In the 9th verse, he gives his confidential reason. Just like we have external reason and internal reason for Mahaprabhu's appearance, right? Externally, Mahaprabhu comes to establish Yuga Dharma, but internally, he comes to relish. What Radharani is relishing. Of course, internal, external, for us, everything is external only. We may not go into that much depth. But still, there is a differentiation as you go higher and higher. Right? And yeah, of course, through holy name, he is trying to give us that rasa in the form of holy name. So here what happens, if many of the people, study, students of or those philosophers or those who study Bhagavad Gita, they mainly quote 7 and 8th verse. Hardly anybody knows 9th verse. What is the 9th verse? 4.9, Janma Karma Chame Divyam. Have you heard any time on the television, on the Krishna serial, Mahabharata serial? Mostly they quote, Yada Yada Dharmasya. Our dharma is getting spoiled. But which dharma? Do you know what dharma you are supposed to follow? They don't inquire. But that Krishna is explaining that further ahead in the Bhagavad Gita. And as you go to the 12th chapter, 9th chapter, 10th, 11th, 12th, he will explain what is that dharma actually. So there is a external dharma and there is an internal dharma. Of course, external dharma is meant to, help the internal dharma to prosper. If there is a good law and order in this world, then devotees can practice nicely Krishna consciousness, right? They're, dependent on each other, but still people need to understand the internal reason. And that's why you see, it's not that Krishna, he comes to maintain just law and order, because however you maintain the law and order in this world, it is going to get disturbed sooner or later, isn't it? 5,000 years ago, Krishna maintained everything, but now it is completely hodgepodge, completely topsy-turvy. There is no dharmic rule in this world, right? So now then you will say, Krishna came, he established dharma, but now the situation is something different. So why did Krishna, came to, and why he is not coming now? Now, therefore, you have to understand his actual reason. Krishna is not coming here, and many of the times when we are given service, when we are, told to do seva for the Lord, or when we are told to chant, we may say, do I need or the Lord needs? And most of the time we feel that that temple is, in requirement of some service, that there are no servants in the temple, therefore they are calling us to, groom and cook and this, do this and that. So is the temple in need or we are in need? We are in need, right? If Krishna can give, entire world to the Pandavas in 18 days, can he not dress himself? In small deity, he comes, appears as a small deity. Can he not feed himself? If he is the Supreme Lord, if he can create Dwarka overnight, do you understand what is Dwarka? To create, small 1 BHK plot, or small house, we spend our entire lifetime. And Krishna created that for each and every Mathuravasi, Dwarkavasi within a night. He said, you all sleep, take, rest nicely, and get up in the morning. As soon as they, got up in the morning, they are in Dwarka, big, palaces. So Krishna is not in the need of our service. We are in the need of service. And why? And why Krishna is giving us service and why Krishna is performing all those pastimes? Just to fix our consciousness on him. Whatever services we are getting, they are the opportunity for us to fix our consciousness on him. So ideally, Krishna is not coming here to fix the, law and order in this world. Of course, he is coming. But more than that, he is coming to fix our consciousness. That's the purport, import of this verse. Bhavesmin Klishyamananam. Shravan Smaran. And he is giving this process of hearing and chanting so that our consciousness, gets fixed on him, we get attracted to him, and as soon as we get attracted to him, there is no more Bhavasagar. Why this Bhavasagar is there? Because of material desires, right? Just like on the ocean, there are waves because there is a wind. Because of the wind, waves are created. Similarly, there are winds of material desires within our heart in consciousness. Therefore, there is a, movement of the living entities towards different directions, except for towards Krishna, right? So we have to remove those material desires and create Krishna conscious desires. And how they will be created? When we serve the Lord, when we are attracted to his pastimes, like that. So in the purport, I'll not go into the purport. I already mentioned and I explained that. You can read that because I want to cover till 40th verse. We have 15 minutes. So we'll move forward to the 36th verse. And then Kunti Maharani says, another popular, very famous verse. Shunvanti gayanti gunanti abhikshana smaranti nandanti tavehita jana taeva pashyanti acharena tavakam bhava pravaho paramam padambujam. Yeah, Sanjay Prabhu, can you read? You have the book? Yes, please read.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanvat Pranam.
Dhanavad.
Shrinvanti gayanti grinanti abhikshaksha smaranti nandanti taveitam jana तयैव पश्यन्ति अचिरेण तावकं भव प्रवाहो paramam padambujam. O Krishna, those who continuously hear, chant and repeat your transcendental activities or take pleasure in others doing so certainly see your lotus feet, which alone can stop the repetition of birth and death.
Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, thank you. So therefore, when we are attracted to the pastimes of Lord Krishna, when we are attracted to his seva, that time what happens? There is no more, bhava pravaho. Bhava pravaha means ocean of material existence. There we are, we can transcend or stop the repetition of birth and death. And one very, very interesting word here, of course, Grunanti is there. Grunanti means to take, pleasure or to sing. It's something like, cows, when they eat the grass, when they go for grazing, after they come to the cow shed, they again take it out and, and chew it again, more properly. So devotees, they are not, we are supposed, now you are hearing Bhagavatam or maybe reading Bhagavatam. Then when you get even more free time, you have to again what? Remember that, release that even more. So it's not that we have to keep, all the studies of Bhagavatam or whatever we hear only in the head. It's supposed to go to the heart, and not just to the heart, one corner of the heart, we have to take it out and again churn it, release it, churn it, release it. Grunanti. And even more powerful than is the word Nandanti. Nandanti means take pleasure. And Prabhupada, actually this is not there in the word to word, but in the translation you see, or take pleasure in others doing so. That's even more important for us. By seeing others performing their devotional service, if we become happy by others' performance of devotional service, then see, either you perform devotional service, that's all glorious, then you can transcend the birth and death. And even now, I'm not saying that you should not, but somehow if you're not performing devotional service, but if you're appreciating someone's devotional service, that is even more, glorious and shortcut actually. But best will be you yourself perform devotional service and also appreciate others, right? Because actually it's a mystery. Actually it's a twist. Unless you perform devotional service, you cannot appreciate others' devotional service, right? So therefore, first you have to perform devotional service. You will enjoy, you will relish, and when you see others performing that same activity and getting Krishna's mercy, relishing Krishna consciousness, then you will feel even more, happy. And as soon as you feel happy for others doing the devotional service, Krishna will note that even more, attentively. That's why in the beginning of the Bhagavatam, second chapter, Dharma Prodita Kaitavatra Paramo Nirmasaranam Satam. This Bhagavatam is meant for those who are completely non-envious. That I am not envious of that Prabhu, or I am not envious of that Mataji, that she is excelling in her service. She is dressing the deities nicely, she is chanting so nicely, she is studying Bhagavatam. If you do not take pleasure, or if you miss to take the pleasure in seeing others doing their services nicely, then actually you are missing everything, even though you may be performing devotional service. That means actually you are not relished the Krishna consciousness. If you actually relish, you will actually then feel pleasure in doing others. You see in the third canto, when Jai Vijay they go to the Vaikuntha, Chatush Kumaras they go to the Vaikuntha planet, there is a description of the Vaikuntha planet. And in the description, Sukadeva Goswami writes that in the spirit Vaikuntha planets, when those bumblebees, they chant the glories of the Lord. And how they will chant as compared to other birds like cuckoos, parrots, they have melodious voice, right? What the humming of the bumblebee will sing, but of course we will not exactly understand. That's a spiritual world. They have spiritual language there. But as soon as the bumblebee starts singing, the cuckoo or the best of the birds, they stop their singing just to listen what the bumblebee is singing for the glorification of the Lord. This is the non-envious nature of the Vaikuntha planet. So we have to appreciate other service. Then only we are real devotees. And if we cannot appreciate that and we become envious, then actually we have a long, long way to go. We are not even yet begun. So therefore this word is very important. Nandanti. Yeah, you can give to the title to the purport, first paragraph. How to see Lord. And then you can give a colon and then write down by hearing from bona fide sources. How to see Lord by hearing from bona fide sources. So entire first paragraph Prabhupada mentions that. So you may read that later. But one important point Prabhupada writes there that Bhagavad Gita, actually many, so many Hindus, they hear Bhagavad Gita, right? Prabhupada mentions that. Bhagavad Gita is, where is that? Bhagavad Gita is one of the popular literature which are generally heard, chanted, repeated by the people in general. But in spite of such hearing, sometimes it is experienced that the performer of such devotional service does not see the Lord eye to eye. Why? Because he is hearing from unauthorized source, or who is not a devotee. Because anybody can memorize the shlokas, anybody can chant, anybody can sing Hare Krishna, isn't it? In melodious tunes, but still you will not get Krishna in that. Why? Because there is no devotion. So it's all completely a matter of devotion. It's not just external performance of some activity. And then next paragraph, Prabhupada, you can give title, Demon Killing versus Ras Leela. Demon Killing Leela versus Ras Leela. So actually what happens, these professional reciters, they want to hear Krishna's intimate pastimes and they make differentiation. No, this pastime with the gopis is very, pleasure giving. And Krishna's killing of the demons is not pleasure giving. Why? Because I am demon. If he kills me, then I cannot enjoy. So they identify themselves with, as if they are the enjoyer of the gopis. They want to see that. But they don't want. Prabhupada used to say this many of the times. Why only Ras Leela? Why not demon killing Leela? So therefore we should read first demon killing Leela and then Ras Leela. Otherwise you remain demon. You don't become devotee. So that Prabhupada elaborates that. You should read that later. And then 37 verse. We'll just read the translation. Oh my Lord, you have executed all duties yourself. Are you leaving us today? Though we are completely dependent on your mercy and have no one else to protect us. I think we'll stop here. Not in a point in rushing like this. We will not be able to get it through, the Rasayan Siddhanta of those verses. Wanted to go till 40th verse, but that's okay. Krishna is not pleased by your quantity, but quality. Anyway, so we'll stop here. Verse number 36 we have covered. Yeah, I'll read one line of the purport of the 36th verse, page number 446. Prabhupada writes, one should not therefore consider that his dealings with the Pandavas are less important than his dealings with the gopis. Right. We must always remember that the Lord is always transcendental to all mundane attachments. In all above mentioned dealings of the Lord, he is the hero in all circumstances. And hearing about him or about his devotees or combinations is conducive to spiritual life. It is said that the Vedas or Puranas are all made to revive our lost relation with him. Hearing of all these scriptures is essential, and hearing through proper source, hearing from bona fide devotee of the Lord, like that. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavad Mahapuran ki jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. So we will meet again next week. We have these classes going on till I think 29 September, right? Chapter number 8 to chapter number 11. We are still on the chapter number 8. So we have a long way to go, but we will go gradually, slowly. Okay, anybody has any comment? Any question, correction? Yeah, Vimla Mataji.
Prabhuji, yesterday you said that if there is calamity, there is more attachment to God because you can be connected to God.
Yeah.
But then if there is calamity, it's not possible to concentrate. Means how to establish connection in that situation? Like,
Yeah, therefore I said that it's not the external form of calamity. See, when we are going through calamity or not going through, what I mean to say is we are always dependent on the Lord. That we have to realize. So if without calamity we can realize that, that is the best, na? See, there are three types of, I mean, of course we should not mix this with this because here is Kunti Maharani all glorious. Are you getting my point?
yes.
Yeah, so you did not go through all what Kunti Maharani went through. You can realize that if you follow what Kunti Maharani is saying, in essence, that be humble, accept supremacy of the Lord and accept that you are always dependent on Him. It's not that only in calamity you are dependent on Him. In your prosperity, are you not dependent on Lord?
Yes.
You are dependent, right? That you have to realize, na? And you can and if you are not able to realize that, then sometimes Krishna will send calamity to make you realize. You want that?
No.
Okay. So better realize that when you are in prosperity, understand through proper philosophy.
So realizing means understanding. That's all.
Yeah, understand that just like what Vrindavanila Mataji said yesterday. What was that word you were trying to point out? Possession, na something. Yeah, you forgot.
I'm not able to recall.
Yeah, we need to understand that we are not possessor of anything.
Yes.
So the Janma, Aishwarya, Shrutasri, all that, it's not that if you have that, it is a disqualification. Prabhupada do say that this is a disqualification, but not in the sense that we have to reject that. The same Prabhupada, when he was in America, he said to Americans, you have such a great heritage, you are great Americans. If you do not do something big for Lord Chaitanya, Lord Krishna, what is the use of you being the Americans? So he used that, aristocratic birth of being American. He used that, right? Vimla Mataji, are you confused or is that okay?
Yes.
So we can use everything in the service of the Lord. Whatever good we have, provided we should not become proud of that. We should not think that this is what I am giving to the temple, I am giving to the society. It's all given to you by Krishna. What you are doing, you're just transferring from here and it has come from there to you and from here you are transferring there. You are just a postman. What credit has the postman? Just being a transparent via medium, that's it. Whatever knowledge, whatever skills we have, it's all given by our Guru Parampara.
Yes.
We are just passing that to someone else in the service of the Lord. That's it. Is that all right? Okay.
One more question, Prabhuji.
Yes.
If living entity is responsible for his destiny, now if living entity is responsible for his destiny, then how come God is kind and
yeah, God is, yeah, see, to this, what example I should give? First of all, do you accept or not that God is kind to everyone? Even if he is doing bad, apparent bad, even if he is doing apparent bad, apparently it may seem that he is doing, something unfavorable to me.
good people suffer, bad people enjoy?
Yeah. Yeah, good people suffer and bad people enjoy. Yeah. See, it's a simple calculation. Good people they enjoy because in their past life they have some past good karma, so they are enjoying now. But in the next birth they will not enjoy if they are doing bad karma now. It's a simple calculation.
So how God is, means what is the role of God then? How God is kind?
God is simply facilitating. See, there are two sections, Mataji, don't mix that. One is for the non-devotee, another is for the devotees. It's completely separate out the devotee part. Now we are talking about non-devotees.
Okay.
For non-devotees, Krishna is simply a neutral witness as a Paramatma. He is just making arrangements. Whatever you desire. You want to eat meat? Okay. This is the facility. You want to, eat vegetables? This is the facility. He is just making, giving you opportunities to exercise your free will. At the same time, he is telling you, if you do this, this will be the repercussion. If you do this, this will be the result. It's just like, it is, this example will, give you more clarity. Just like, a small child, he wants to play, and the mama says, don't go on the roadside. So many vehicles, they are coming, going there. They may hit you. But the child says, no, I want to go there. I want to play there. He insists. Then what the mama says, if he insists very badly that I cannot live without going there, then finally mama will say, you go there. If something happens, take responsibility for that. Something like that.
Yes.
Krishna is already telling you that if you do this, you will get that kind of reaction. But still, if you are adamant on doing that, then what can be done?
Yes.
But still, again, further beyond this, even if you do something and suffer, still that suffering is also a mercy of the Lord. Because when you suffer, then you will question again, why I am suffering? And that suffering is also a mercy factor of the Lord. Because unless you suffer, you will not question. You will not ask why I am suffering. Are you getting me? Suffering is also a mercy of the Lord. There is long back, Chaitanya Prabhu was giving one example. There is one disease called as SIPA. You know SIPA? I don't know this full form of this disease. You may search later on the Google. There is a disease, if someone is afflicted with that, he will not feel pain. Suppose you are not feeling pain, and if somebody cuts your hand or or anything. So of course he was giving example of a small baby, and this is a congenital disease. So the small baby is born with this kind of disease, that she will not feel pain if anything hurts to her. So what she was doing, actually, she would beat her fingers. Small babies, they don't have sense of what they are doing. So she will beat her fingers, and she will try to take knife and play around. Suppose if you don't feel pain, if knife is hurting you, so you will not stop there only, right? Because you don't have the sense of that. So these parents, those who were having that child, they were praying to God, oh God, please give some pain to this baby, so that she will now suppose such kind of children, they grow in their life. If suppose they are sleeping on the bed, and if they fall from the bed, they will not feel any pain. I'm giving one random example. If they don't feel pain, they will not understand where the body is getting hurt, or which body part is getting damaged. So pain therefore is very vital in our life. Without pain, you cannot I mean, are you getting me?
Yes.
Or am I confusing you?
Yes. No.
So even if Krishna gives misery, even if Krishna gives pain, even if Krishna gives setbacks in our life, still there is a mercy of Krishna. Krishna is really merciful on you. And if Krishna is not really merciful on you, he will not make you feel hurt if really something has gone against you. Do you want that? So okay. Hare Krishna.
So, I'm sorry, Pro. I don't know if I should.
Yeah, you want to share? Yeah, please share.
I just like Vimla Mataji asked such nice question, and I was just thinking about it. You answered so nicely, and it made me think further. So
Yeah.
I was just thinking, like Mataji said, it's so difficult to remember him in pain. And
Yeah.
I was thinking, actually, we are so conditioned that to remember him, whether in pleasure or in pain, it's difficult for us.
Yeah.
But then I think when we are in pain, when we are in misery, it is a lot easier. Like
Yes.
I have seen, even when we are traveling in flight and there's little turbulence, you can see everybody remembering God in whatever way they know. But in very comfortable situation, we think we are the ones who has done all this. I worked so hard, I studied so hard when others were enjoying, so I deserve this kind of pleasure.
Yes.
So when we are in a very comfortable situation, actually it is very difficult. It's more difficult. So basically it is meant to condition us, like for devotees I'm saying.
Yeah.
This realization is to remember him in all the situations, whether it is misery or it is happiness. Sukhe dukhe bhulo na koi, vadane hari naam karo re. So
Yes.
like we should transcend all this, and bhakti is basically transcendental, but pain definitely makes it easier. That's what I have felt. People like me need more lashing to remember him. But those who are more divine and more advanced, they don't need that. Even in situation of comfort, they can remember him. But pain definitely facilitates. That was one thing that I felt. And second was like when Mataji was connecting our karma or our destiny and Krishna's kindness. I think the first gesture of his kindness is that we, even those who just don't, atheists, for example, they don't even believe in his existence, but still he is giving them oxygen. He
Yeah.
is facilitating everything. And for everybody, regardless of their demoniac nature, he is giving them an opportunity to take to the path of bhakti, which
Yes.
is, I think, the highest kindness that he can show. Like I can see a person like me who is so demoniac, but he has opened the doors of his mercy even to a person like me. Yes, you can take to bhakti, you can chant my name, you can feel me whenever you want to. I think that this is the biggest gesture of kindness, besides other small things that we can feel every moment, like when we breathe, when we see the things around. Like I can easily connect to it because I have been undergoing so many surgeries in the past so many days. But everything I could see, oh my God, I didn't even realize that you were showing me so much of mercy. There's no count of it, but the highest is that he gives everybody an opportunity to take to the path of bhakti. Means this is my humble understanding and realization. Besides, of course, Prabhuji just opens vistas and vistas of realization as he shares his understanding. It's really nice. Thank you so much. I thank Vimla Mataji and of course to our esteemed faculty here.
I thank you, Mataji, the way you have explained and the way Prabhuji explains. Really, really. But sometimes what happens when you are in misery, your faith in God shatters also, shakes also, no?
Yeah, therefore we need the association of devotees in such
Yeah.
times.
And it will be more brittle when we are in pleasure.
Yes.
Yes, yes, yes. We have so many Kunti Maharajas here. Yeah, thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Pancha kalpatar Vishnu kripa sindhu vayo
Kripa
japatitana
sindhu
bhavanabhi vaishnavita namo namo.
patana Namo Namaha.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam,
Thank you,
Hare
Prabhuji,
Krishna.
for wonderful
Hare Krishna,
class.
Prabhuji. Thank you very
Thank you,
much.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.